How about audio now? Hello? Oh, wait a minute.
How about audio now?
How about audio now? There it is. Hello? Okay. Took me a minute.
Hello?
Oh, wait a
How
minute.
about audio now?
How about audio now? There it is. Okay. Took me a minute.
Hello?
That's odd that I can hear it through there.
Oh,
wait a
how
minute.
about audio now?
How about audio now? There it is. Okay. Took me a minute.
Hello?
That's odd that I can hear it through there. I'll do one more thing, guys.
Wait a minute. How about audio now?
How about audio now? There it is. Okay. Took me a minute.
Hello?
I don't want to hear it on the system here through there. Do one more thing, guys.
Wait a minute. How about audio now?
How about audio now? There it is. Okay. Took me a minute.
Hello?
I don't want to hear it on the system here through there. All right. How about now? Do one more thing, guys. There it is. Okay. Took me a minute. I don't want to hear it on the system here through there. All right. How about now? Do one more thing, guys. There it is. Okay. Took me a minute. I don't want to hear it on the system here through there. Guys, I'm trying to figure out this audio. Bear with me. Something happening. I don't know what it is. There it is. Okay. Took me a minute. I don't want to hear it on the system here through there. Guys, I'm trying to figure out this audio. Bear with me. Something happening. I don't know what it is. Hang on. How about that? All right, one more thing. I just gotta check it. Yeah. All right. I think I'm getting my stuff together here, guys. Sorry about that. Hey, Stuart, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging in with that weirdness with the audio. I had to change some settings to get that to work. Okay. All right. Well, hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I was having some technical difficulties there for a second, but I think I'm good now. Appreciate you joining me tonight. Um, PFG lives. Hey, he's still around. Uh, you know, it's been a while, and I thought I'd jump on and kind of let you know that I'm still kicking and still around. Um, I'll let you know let you know what I've been up to or what I haven't been up to, and just kind of do a little check in. Let you know we're going to get back to business here soon. So um, here's and hey guys, as you join, if you're online, say hello in the chat so I know who's here, and we'll if you got questions, throw them at me while I'm going. I'm just going to blab on a little bit here at the beginning, kind of tell you what I've been doing and why I haven't been around much. And some of you might understand, others be like, "Oh, come on, you slacker!" But it's been a busy spring. So here we go. So as I get into it, like I say, first, I'm gonna tell you what I've been up to, why I haven't been on, and all that. Just kind of give you the 411, and then we're gonna talk about what's coming up and let you know what I got on my agenda and what kind of content we're going to be trying to work on going forward. So, um, like I say, if you got questions as we go, just let me know. So, things that have been keeping me. I'm just checking one more thing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, great. So, things that have been keeping me occupied and or busy other than fishing and editing video are as follows. Well, really, guys, there's a long list. So, uh, January, we've been prepping to send the kid off to college this fall, and kind of in the process of doing all that, we kind of thought about the idea. Well, why don't we just move with her? We'll save housing costs and buy a cheap house wherever she's going to college, and just kind of go from there. So we did exactly that. We bought a house back in January of this year, and we've been working on it, rehabbing it since then, off and on, kind of commuting back and forth. It's like a 2 hour drive between our old house and this house. So we started doing renovations, and we'd come down on the weekend, spend the weekend, and then go back on Sunday night, stuff like that. And then at some point, I got internet installed here to where I could actually stay here during the week and and work on projects and stuff. So, um, so we still got projects to do, but we are moved. We actually got our move done in June and mid June, and sold the other house the same week. So kind of made a clean getaway, and all is good as far as housing and all that. Got the kids' college paid for this fall. We're all set except for a couple odds and ends things. But on top of that, so we've been doing house rehab. I was working on both houses really at some point to keep one, get the other one kind of. We had some projects to do to get that ready for sale. So we were doing that and working on this house too, and still working full time and trying to fish a little bit here and there, and it was just craziness. But I did make a March trip to Rowfoot Lake with my buddy Mo Fisher, and it was challenging. I hadn't really been on the water since I got out one day in March just to check out the boat, make sure everything was working, and then I got we took it down to Rowfoot, and man, we got just the wind was crazy the entire week, and we managed a few days worth of fishing, but it wasn't great. But we did okay, and I fell out of the boat and did some other shenanigans, So it was all good, but it was tough fishing. So turned around, got back back home here, got situated, and I really tore into my projects here and at the other house. Uh, and long about, I don't know, 2 weeks after we got back from Reelfoot, I got a really bad stomach bug. And like I say, I'm just blabbing, guys. So if you got a question, cut me off, say something. So uh, I got a really bad stomach bug, and I ended up being flat on my back for like a week. And I was here. The family was back in Glen Carbon, so nobody, I didn't share that with anybody. But man, it was a tough week. And I lost like 30 pounds. It was terrible, but not not a fun way to lose weight. That's for sure. And let's see, just checking my notes here. So yeah, that was going on in April, and then about the time I started feeling better, coming up on my birthday, I got the word from Macon, Georgia, that my sister had passed away, and so we that prompted a 4-day marathon to scramble to Macon and get her house situated and clear out her belongings from her apartment and stuff like that. And boy, it was just that. It was a marathon. So we ended up going through all of that. We had the camper in tow. That worked out pretty well, but man, it was a lot of driving. We decided that the better half didn't want to go through the mountains in Tennessee and Georgia, so we decided to go down 65 down into Alabama and did our saw some country while I was down there. I hadn't driven that route before, so got to see somewhere a sign that said Coosa Corner. We didn't get to stop, but we saw the general area, if you will, and on the way to Macon, and then so we got all that done. Got back home, and I got back into. Let's see. Let me make sure I'm not this. Oh, I got a broken windshield for my trouble down there in Alabama too. So somebody threw a rock at me, but we got back down here. Got back here to Carbondale, and I started, jumping back into projects, kind of closing some of the interior stuff out, and then we got into some projects in the garage and exterior and stuff. And um, long about that time, I went and dropped a piece of plywood on my toe and busted it. I think I just snapped it in half, and that was fun. Went numb immediately, stayed that way for a couple days, and turned black and purple and blue and green and yellow and every shade under the rainbow it was. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But yeah, kind of continued with projects, but I had to sit it out a few days because that toe was just killing me. And so we had a big trip planned to Mississippi down to see old Tim Howell and hang out down at Enid Lake. I had been prepping for that since like January and February, I guess. And man, we bolted out of town, headed down the road, and we got to Arkansas and got derailed. And I bent a couple rims on my truck and tore some stuff up. So we managed to get back on the road, but we decided, I still had a sketchy tire on the truck, so let's just head kind of back toward home. So we were about 40 minutes from Reelfoot, so we decided to just kind of cruise over there and fish for a couple days. And my buddy Stuart, who's on tonight, was along for the trip, so he's like, I've never been to Reelfoot, so he was good with it. And we went and fished for a couple days. It was decent weather. It wasn't terribly windy like it usually is at Reelfoot, so that was a bonus. We had one day we were crappie fishing. That didn't work out so well, but caught some bluegill on the second day, so we had a good time. And about the time we got headed out of headed out of there and headed home on Sunday, I pulled out of the campground with my camper in tow, and the wheel fell off my truck. Now, ask me how that happens, but I think somebody missed lug nut day at tire school. That's my guess, because apparently the lug nuts never got torqued or something. And the whole mess of getting my tires and everything fixed and getting back on the road in Arkansas a couple days previous, I believe they forgot to get my tires, get my rear, because they swapped tires to that rear, and I believe they forgot to torque the lug nuts. So I couldn't tell because there was a center cap on there covering up those lug nuts, so it just happened. But luckily we were going slow. But needless to say, my truck is still stranded in Tennessee. It's still at a body shop down there. And, my guess is I'll be getting it back in the next couple weeks. They were just starting to get parts this week, so we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's kind of been keeping me off the water, because I got a perfectly good boat sitting out here on the patio, but I ain't got no way to pull it. So I'm, I just go out and look at the boat every now and then and say, boy, I sure do miss taking you for a ride. I'm 5 minutes from the lake, but it can't happen, So, but yeah, we've had that going on. That's been keeping me off the water. Of course, I could probably make a video of that whole thing, but I didn't film any of it. I was filming when I hit the potholes that flattened my tires and bent my rims, but after that, I kind of lost my mojo on that particular point, because I was a little peeved at that point, So I'm going to write a strong letter of protest to the Arkansas, is it RDOT or something? The folks who run the highway department there. I need to write them a strongly worded letter, right? They had a construction zone going on there. And, apparently that section of road has been infamous for being terrible for a long time, not just during construction. Having talked to others about the situation, so it's I learned something, and one, I learned I don't like low profile rims and tires, so those are going away on the next version of my truck once it gets fixed. So right now, waiting to get a rear end put under it, because it bent the rear axle and everything, the whole rear end. So and plus the body work. And what else do we got? Just checking my notes. Like I say, I'm blabbing, guys, so if you got something to ask, something to say, let me know. And then, when I get back to, I busted my toe up maybe about a week before, week or a week and a half before we headed down to Mississippi. And the toe wasn't feeling worth a crap, but it hadn't gotten any better by it was like 6 weeks out, and it was still hurting like heck. So I was like, well, maybe I gotta go see a doctor about it. And of course, it's still broken. It hasn't healed after 6 weeks. And he gave me alternatives. He's like, you need to either A, take it easy, sit on your butt, and don't try not to put too much weight on that toe for the next 4 to 6 weeks. B, if you can't do that and you manage to keep that toe broken, we'll probably have to put a screw in it to hold it together, and then you're going to be off your feet, no weight bearing on your foot at all for the next 8 weeks. I think he said 6 to 8. Yeah, 8 weeks. Or C, we can, and plus there's a bone splinter in that toe too, so it's good stuff. Or C, we can amputate, so I took that as a serious thing when he started discussing the possibility of maybe partially amputating the toe, right? So I was like, okay, well, I'll chill for a while, and you know, I haven't needed to climb in a boat because I don't have a truck, and I've tried to con a couple of my buddies into taking me fishing, but nobody's taken the bait yet, so I'm not getting any bites on that. But hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, we got a truck back. I get a clean bill of health from the doc, and we move on and get on to other stuff. So, uh, what else we got? Oh, and to top it all off, um, like I said, I'm just naming off all the crap that's happened to me this spring. So, to top it all off, I got about a week or two after we moved into the house here. We had a fellow come over. We had the second bathroom, the sewer line got clogged up. So we had a fellow come in. It was kind of suspect when we bought the place because it would like when you run the washing machine, you'd hear it kind of gurgling a little bit. So there was something already going on, I think. But we had a guy come in. He brought his sewer auger and he pulled up the toilet in one bathroom, run the auger down the toilet. Well, in the process, my freezer was plugged in because the bathroom's kind of like a half mechanical room, half bathroom type thing. So he there's one plug-in in there, and he unplugged my freezer to plug in his sewer device, right? And he failed to plug it back in, my deep freeze. So I had probably 20 pounds of crappie and/or bluegill fillets in my freezer, and they all went bad. And not to mention the probably 10 pounds of hamburger or so, and some other random items that I think there were some pork chops and some chicken breasts in there too, and it just all went bad. I opened that freezer one day and I'm like, what the? Yeah. So, yeah, all kinds of fun stuff. So that was kind of the final insult though, was that freezer because I got no fish now and I got no way to go catch fish. So I need some therapy, guys. Is all I can say. But so summary of my spring, it's been a crap show. There are good aspects to the idea that we moved here to Carbondale, Illinois, and that has to do with the fact that there are lakes in pretty much every direction about 15 minutes away from it. So, um, six lakes in very close proximity. Run Lake's about 40 minutes, and Kentucky Lake's about an hour. So, and there's a bunch of others down this way too that need to be explored as well. So, the good aspect of that is I'm a lot closer to what to lakes that I can explore and fish and make content on, and not have to drive an hour and a half. When I lived in the St. Louis metro, it was at least a good hour drive to get to any body of water that was really worth fishing on. To be honest, there was a couple places there in Madison County, but it was just like I wouldn't even put my boat on there. I didn't have to. I put it on once to I put it on that lake once to change my trailer bunks. I backed it in the water, tied it off to the dock, I pulled my trailer up in the parking lot, changed the bunks on it, and then I put it back in the water, and pulled the boat out. So yeah, it's not even worth it. There's supposedly crappie in there, but it's not worth my time. So, but and then the other part of it is we did pretty well on the sale and everything of the other house, and we're looking to be in a really good position to pay for the kids' education without her going into a bunch of debt. You know, so that was kind of the goal, part of the goal anyway, plus the fishing thing. That was kind of the goal in moving down here too. So, but all told, it's been pretty much a crap show with some advantages that are yet to be realized. So, all right. So that's all I got about my spring. Any questions before I move on? I'm gonna get a drink here. And I hope this thing's still working. So anyway, what else do we got here then? So coming up, I'm just gonna keep on blabbing until you guys make me stop. There you go. Got a couple more pages to go. uh, but so coming up, in terms of YouTube content, I do have a bunch of content that I've filmed over, last fall. Uh, Last fall I had a bunch of Red Lake stuff, and I had a couple random things here and there at different lakes that I really didn't do much good, but I think in the approach I'm going to be taking on my YouTube content going forward is, because there's a lot of YouTube influencers, guys that basically, their caption, their video says, how to find slab crappie in deep water, or how to, the title is, here's how you do this, right? So I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm, I don't know that I'm in much of a position or that experienced, or what was the word that I wanted to use for that? Well, I can't grab the word right now, but like I said, I don't know that I'm that experienced or knowledgeable enough to be able to publish an episode every week that says, here's how you do this, right? Um, I I've struggled with that approach in the past, and there's some things I'm good at, some things you know, as far as like the technical stuff, but there's other things that I'm just kind of guessing, playing it by ear. So, um, the approach I'm going to be taking on my videos going forward, as far as new content, or actually what one I've got started now, is not here's how you do this. It's going to be more like here's how I do this. And if you pick up something from how I'm approaching a certain body of water, or location in a body of water, or something like that, then so be it. But I I have trouble speaking from kind of like, well, I know I'm a know-it-all about this particular subject. Or, not saying that guys do that. It's just I feel like it'd be kind of disingenuous for me to come off in that manner. So because I'm just an old guy learning how to fish too. So I'm still learning just like everybody else. So um, so I think that's a better approach for me. Is just like, okay, I'm fishing this lake on this time of year, this this type of water, whatever water temp, and this is what I'm doing to catch fish. And if you take something away from that you can use, fantastic. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. So, but I do have some content that I've, like I say, last fall bunch of Red Lake stuff, um, and I'll be putting that out. That's going to be my next few videos, and I'm going to kind of take that approach. Is this is what I'm doing in this video, and if this works for you, then great. Um, but I'm going to be titling those lost episodes. So if you see anything that says lost episodes, that's kind of my backlog of stuff that I've got sitting around. Now, once I start getting some new content filmed, it won't have that tag on it. So just know that going forward that lost episodes is old stuff. But in the meantime, once I do get back on the water, I've got some discovering to do. I need to get over here to Crab Orchard Lake, and I had the boat out there one day with the kids, just kind of driving around and just looking. Really, I did a little side scanning for some bluegill beds. I saw one, but I think it was a little early for that. And then I need to be discovering that lake. I need to do a lot more discovery on Kincaid Lake. I need to do some discovery on Lake of Egypt, as well as Little Grassy, Cedar Lake. I'm feeling like, pretty liking what I know about that lake, but there's still more stuff to be found. And ideally this time of year, I'm out pulling crankbaits or spinners or something, and I really been. I mean, I've spent. I probably spent let's see, $700-800 just buying crankbaits last year, of different varieties and different styles and all that. And I most of them haven't even been near the water yet, So got to get those out, and then spinners too. I bought a bunch of. I've got some select spinner stuff from Blake Ray with getting jiggy jigs, and I bought a bunch of fin spin stuff, and then I've got some of the walleye rigs that I've modified, the worm harnesses, crawler harnesses that I modify for that too. So it's all just waiting for me to get it in the water. It's a matter of getting my truck back though. So, but yeah, I'd really love to be checking those out. But I live close enough to a lot of those lakes that I can do just like an afternoon trip. I get off work at like 2:30 in the afternoon, and I can be on the water by 3 at most of them, and get in four plus hours of fishing before I have to get off the lake. So like a half day trip. So looking forward to the days that I can pull that off. So but. And beyond that, doing discovery around here. But then, as far as trips go, I've only got 2 real solid things on my agenda. So one, in October, the fellows with Ambets Outdoors are hosting their fall event at Ren Lake. And they got a great program, and I volunteer with them each year for the last couple of years, and it's great fun. I mean, it's fantastic. So if you guys get a chance to go check out their organization, they do some great stuff for the vets. So I'm gonna volunteer for that one. We'll probably be up there camping for the weekend and hang out. Even though it's 40 minutes away, I could home base from here, but I'm driving an hour and a half every day back and forth. So probably rather just go stay up there, drag the camper up there for a weekend. And then what else we got? And then I do have a big trip planned, and this is probably ambitious based on my last experience with a big trip, but I can't help but not do it. So, um, in October, the week of the Crappie Expo, I'm leaving on what night? I'm leaving on the Thursday before, Thursday evening before, Thursday evening? Friday. I can't remember. But, oh, Thursday, yeah. I'm leaving on Thursday before the Crappie Expo, the week before. And I'm going to I'm going to stop in Truman Lake. I'm going to fish at Truman Lake for 2 days, maybe two and a half, depending on how things are going. So, and the weather, of course. So I'm gonna hit Truman Lake for a couple days on my way to Branson, and then I'm gonna go down to Branson. We got a timeshare down here, so I'll be staying at the timeshare and going to do I'm gonna fish a few days, probably at random locations down there that are not named Table Rock because I don't want to get out there and play with all them guys practice fishing. I don't know if they can practice fish or not that early, but I'm gonna plan on hitting bull shoals for sure. Maybe Beaver Lake, maybe Norfolk. Bull shoals I have a little knowledge of. I've been on it a few times, so over the years. So I've never been on the part of the lake that's close to Branson, except for one day when me and my buddy took a long haul up there. But so I'm not as familiar with that end as I am the east side of the lake over in Arkansas. But it's I'll figure something out. But then so I'm gonna do that for a few days, and then I'm gonna hook up with Lee Sharp with brush pile jigs for I don't know what we're gonna do. I don't know if it's just gonna be like a hey, let's get out on the water and film a little thing, or come on down to the expo, or we're gonna fish, or what's gonna happen yet. But we're gonna do something. So we'll figure something out here in the next couple months. So, but probably get together with him for a little bit one day, and then the days of the expo, I'm probably going to be hanging out in the hall. At least one or two of them. Never know. I might get bored and decide to go fishing anyway. If I'm onto something, especially, I might just stay out on the water. So, but yeah, we're going to be hitting that up, and hopefully it's a grand old time. I can get a lot of good footage out of that, and I was hoping maybe to be able to walk the hall one day at the expo and do some interviews, do some little promo things for the vendors and stuff, kind of like I did with the Collinsville Fishing Show. So ought to be great stuff, and hopefully all's well with the foot thing, and I've got all of my digits, and no funky walking boots or anything like that. So we'll see, but and truck ought to be in good shape by then, you would think, but you never know. And let's see. All right. Last chance for questions before I close this out. You guys got anything? Stuart, you still with me? All right. So anyway, and by the way, guys, Stuart Ferris that's on the chat tonight. I owe him a big thank you. He bailed my ass out on that Mississippi trip because there were situations where we had to move that camper around and stuff, and he had his truck with, so he was able to help me get the camper off the road and all that. Hey, yeah, good deal. He was able to help me get that camper off the road, get my get my boat back to Illinois and everything. So he was a lifesaver, man. I'm telling you. So, but I think that's gonna do it for me. Like I say, I just wanted to check in, let you know I'm still kicking, and we're gonna starting to get some content back up. And for you guys who see this, who may be on the spider rigging page, I'm Dan, the admin, and this is my personal YouTube channel. So if you haven't already, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and come join the fun. It'll be a lot of fun. So do a lot of spider rigging content, but I like to do other stuff too. So, um, and but anyway, I appreciate y'all hanging with me on the channel while I've been MIA. Like I say, had a lot going on. Just what I had to make decisions as to whether I'm going to sit and edit video or do other stuff that needed to be done. So that's I went for the other stuff. So, but we are getting back to a more normal circumstance, if you will. So we should be rolling on some video. And I've got one in the works for Wren Lake, and it's fall fishing at Wren Lake. So um, keep an eye out for that. Anyway, until then, y'all have a good one. Thanks for joining me. Have a good evening.